The Glinka State Museum of Musical Culture, which has the status of a particularly valuable object of cultural heritage of the Russian Federation, is preparing to celebrate its centenary in 2012. It was in March of 1912 when in the Moscow Conservatoire was set up a small museum named after Nikolai Rubinstein, the founder of the Conservatoire. In 1941, on the basis of this museum, was created the Central Museum of Musical Culture, which in 1943 acquired the status of the state scientific research and educational institution of national significance. In 1954, the museum was named after Mikhail Glinka, Russian first national classic composer, when the country celebrated 150th anniversary of his birth. Through its history, the Glinka State Museum of Musical Culture has been continuously expanding. Now it is a museum complex, incorporating, apart from the main building in the center of Moscow, 6 memorial museums dedicated to the life and work of the outstanding Russian musicians. The Fyodor Shaliapin Memorial Estates is the museum of a legendary Russian singer whose name is known all over the world. The top opera houses and concert halls across Europe, America and Asia still remember his fantastic voice. Located on the Garden Ring, this is one of a few buildings that survived the Moscow fire of 1812. The main building keeps memories of Shaliapin and his family, whereas the estate wing is a favorite place for contemporary art exhibitions and popular concert venue. Nearby the Shaliapin estates, just across the Garden Ring, there is a 2-storied mansion housing the Tchaikovsky Cultural Center and the museum Pyotr Tchaikovsky and Moscow. This is the only remaining house in Moscow where the great composer lived. Its exposition allows a visitor to feel the ambience of the Moscow artistic life of the 19th century. The Museum of Sergei Prokofiev, arguably the most popular composer of the 20th century, this year became the center for the musician's 120th anniversary celebrations. Festival The Sun and Music, exhibitions featuring new materials and international conference, concerts and masterclasses won attention of both scholars of Prokofiev's heritage and general public. Memorial apartment of the outstanding Russian conductor Nikolai Golovanov represents the unique archive, library and arts collection of the musician. The exposition represents materials on Golovanov's activities as chief conductor of the USSR Bolshoi Theater and artistic director of the Grand Symphony Orchestra of the USSR Radio. The exposition of memorial apartment of Alexander Galdenweiser, the prominent pianist, rector of the Moscow Conservatoire and one of the founders of the Soviet piano school, is devoted to his tireless education activities. This museum attracts the attention of many musicians keeping memories of the outstanding master. In June of 2011, as the 14th Tchaikovsky International Competition was taking place in Moscow, the museum was visited by the honorable president of the competition jury, Van Cliburn, the legendary winner of the first Tchaikovsky competition in 1958. Nowadays, there are nearly 1 million items in the funds of the Glinka State Museum of Musical Culture in total. The museum holds in its collection musical instruments, autographs, musical and literary manuscripts, rare books, posters and programs, portraits and scenery artwork, photographs and sculptures, and memorial household items, audio and video recordings. The museum's collection of musical instruments holds over 3,000 items, ancient and new, originating from different regions of Russia and from around the world. Many of them are played at the museum's concerts and educational programs. Part of the collection is represented in a permanent exhibition, Musical Instruments of the World. In May 2010, the museum's collection acquired over 300 instruments from the state collection of unique musical instruments. The largest collection of string instruments of different countries and epochs, including the masterpieces of Amati, Stradivari and Guarneri del Gesù. Some of the instruments are over 5 centuries old. The treasures of the state collections were for the first time presented at exhibitions and played at the museum concerts. The museum successfully presents exhibitions and concerts as across Russia as abroad, using its unique collections materials and musical instruments. That gives a chance for art lovers to see the unique materials from museum storerooms as well from other state and private collections. The museum's research and educational activities are multifaceted and diverse. The museum offers programs for music connoisseurs and those who only begin to discover the world of music. A special attention is paid to the work with children. Fascinating games, interactive museum classes, and unforgettable music trips with elements of stage adaptation are arranged for young visitors and their parents. The museum concert activities are aimed at promoting the knowledge of the best pieces of world musical heritage. National and foreign musicians perform in the museum's concert hall. Chamber, vocal, choir music of different countries and styles and genres are played. In the framework of the worldwide event The Night in Museum, the Glinka State Museum of Musical Culture presents special exhibitions, concerts and programs that annually attracts thousands of visitors. The Glinka State Museum of Musical Culture is an influential scientific and research center. Its researchers are engaged in the finding, bringing into the common and scientific use the unknown, forgotten and non-attributed works, orthographs and musical names. Note and literature, heritage of musicians and iconographic materials are being published. The museum is a member of many international organizations, including the International Council of Museums, ICOM, and International Association of Music Libraries, Archives and Documentation Centers, IML. The museum was one of the organizers of the IML Congress in Moscow in 2010. The Association of Musical Museums was set up in November 2009 with objective to promote cooperation between the musical museums across Russia, facilitate development and implementation of federal, regional and international cultural programs. Currently, the association represents as members more than 40 musical museums. Geographical scope of the organization is constantly expanding, and the association is becoming truly international. Following the motto, "Let's open together the world of music," the Glinka State Museum of Musical Culture invites everyone to discover its collections and touch and feel the past and present of musical culture.